Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Everything EastEnders. EastEnders has just announced its latest legacy character. If you watched Wednesday and Thursday's episode this week, you will know that it was revealed that Albie Watts' father is not Keanu Taylor, as we all suspected, but in fact Phil Mitchell, Sharon's former husband. Sharon believed that Albie was the son of her affair partner at the time and now current partner and fiance, Keanu. This was largely due to a DNA test that she took when she found out that she was pregnant. So I think it was good that the doctor sort of cleared that up, that little plot hole, by saying, some DNA clinics are more reliable than others or less reliable than others, which makes sense. So I guess that's what it is. I'm guessing that happens in real life as well. You do get inaccurate DNA results a lot of the time. So what is a legacy character? A legacy character is a character whose identity and whose place on a show is passed down to them from their parents, basically, or their other family members. So there have been some amazing legacy characters, as we know, Dennis Rickman, and there have been some really crap legacy characters.
I just feel like I haven't really seen around here where Mum came from.
I didn't say anything. Albie being the son of Sharon and Phil is therefore a very big deal for the show. It sets Albie up for his future characterization, his future personality, and really his status on the show. But in the more present situation, this bombshell news, it adds fuel to a couple of ongoing storylines happening in EastEnders right now. On a side note, well, actually on a pretty big note that I've got to make right now, I am so glad that Sharon is no longer tied to Keanu. Not because I hate either of the characters, but I just hate that they were put together. So I don't know why the show has a habit of romanticizing relationships between much older women, like middle-aged women and teenage boys, essentially. Previously, just before Sharon got with Keanu, in fact, she gave Michelle hell for her relationship with a student. And that whole storyline, the way it was portrayed, it was just messed up. It was like a loving relationship between two people, and really didn't, they didn't explore, in my opinion, enough the fact that she was his teacher, she was his best friend's mother, and they didn't look at that angle enough. She wasn't given the same heat that Max was given after it was revealed that he had been having an affair with Lucy Beale, his daughter's best friend, who he had essentially watched grow up. And let me tell you, watching the 2008 episodes and seeing Max and Lucy and knowing what happened later with them, it's so creepy, just super creepy. Gives bad vibes. So I'm just saying, why was this energy not given to Michelle as well? And I feel like the only person to give that energy to Sharon in her relationship with Keanu is Karen, and I respect her for it. People, it's kind of being made out like she's an interfering busybody, but Keanu was 19, Sharon was nearly 50. Like, I'm not being funny, I'm in my 30s, and I just 19-year-old, like, that's a child. I'm sorry, but that is a child. Okay, it's not illegal, and I don't think it helps that they often depicted Keanu for the male gaze. Often scenes with just his shirt off for no reason, literally for no reason, just to show. And they don't just do this with Keanu, they do this with a lot of male characters on the show. And it is problematic. I don't like it. And I think it goes to a wider issue where essentially patriarchy doesn't allow us to position men as victims, especially of women. Sharon is the equivalent of the hot teacher that everyone congratulates the young student for managing to be in a relationship with, not taking into account the seriousness of the fact that a teacher was having a relationship with such an inappropriate relationship with a literal child. And especially, like I said, Sharon had just given her best friend like a what for. Obviously she was still her best friend, but She really gave her a what for. She's like, you first you went for married older men and now you're going for kids. What is this? And then she goes for a kid herself. And not only then they have a relationship, and she knows that he's 19. Well, she didn't know that he was 19 at the beginning, but she found out early enough that she could have just called it off and be like, ill, 19, no, right? The second she found out he was 19, should have called it off. But no, she continues with him. And then they end things. And then, because she can't stand being around him, she gets Phil to send Keanu on this thing overseas, this really dangerous like mission overseas. So he comes back hating her, not wanting to pursue a relationship with her. So he gets with her stepdaughter Louise on Phil's say-so, then actually catches feelings for Louise. Louise breaks up with Keanu, and naturally Keanu and Sharon spend the night together. Just like, again, he was, 1920 at this point? I mean, come on now. Eventually it came out in Christmas 2019 storyline that Keanu was actually the father. Mel died, trying to out that secret. And Sharon ended up being thrown out of the Mitchell household. Keanu comes back to Walford, and him and Sharon basically get back into a relationship. Sharon keeps going Pikachu surprised face when Keanu acts immaturely, even though he's 30 some plus years younger than her. Like, come on, Sharon, he's not even 25. Why are you being the Leonardo DiCaprio of Walford? Not saying I love Sharon as a character, she is just wonderful. Her relationship with Keanu, it has really shown her exploiting her social and economic power dynamic that she has over him. Obviously now it's turned out that there was a reason storyline wise why she didn't, but she didn't put Keanu's name down as the father on the birth certificate. And bear in mind that Albie was born after she had divorced Phil, so it's not like she was trying to hide it from Phil or anything like that. And now that she has found out that Keanu is not the father, she is keeping it from him. She's letting this man in his early 20s carry on believing that he has fathered a child with this much older woman, and he is marrying her. Now, there's a lot to be said about, the fact that he initially pretended to be in love with her, and the fact that he kidnapped Albie. I think that is so deplorable. I can't even imagine doing that to someone. That I genuinely feel like that is one of the worst things you could do to a parent, to anyone really who has a loved one. Make them worry about them in that way. I think that was awful. The show is demonstrating, however, that this is a result of him not having as much fiscal power as Sharon, and taking these drastic actions in order to just have a place in his son's life. But I do think it's morally very questionable, but of course this is soap lands, people do morally questionable things for drama all the time, that she is keeping this information from Keanu. This information adds an extra dimension to the upcoming Christmas storyline, the whodunit that we know is coming up. We don't know who the victim is, we don't know who the main perpetrator is, we know who is involved, but that is it. And that it happens on Christmas Day at what looks to be Sharon's wedding reception. Now, after Wednesday's episode, when it was just shown that Phil is the father, I believed, maybe actually Phil's going to be the husband. Maybe he's going to be the guy she's marrying at Christmas. But then Thursday's episode happened, and that hilarious argument.
I'm trying to tell you something here, and you're just being so nasty.
I'll tell you what, do me a favour and don't tell me. Because it's not my problem, is it? I'll go and talk to your soppy little fiancé or whatever it is and get out of my house.
Oh, classic Phil. And he then... I wonder why she doesn't want him to be a part of Albie's life. So yeah, after that, it's safe to say that she is indeed going to be marrying Keanu as we first thought. They've been tricky with that. They've been making us think, is he? Is it? Oh wait, they've broken up. Is it going to be Phil? But it looks like it's going to be Keanu. But so does Keanu find out on that day, and then the wedding doesn't go ahead and he goes for Sharon or something? Maybe that's what happens. Maybe that's not it at all. But I have a feeling it may come out Christmas Day, maybe not. But something that's very exciting is we are about a month away from all of it being found out. Woo! So I believe this storyline started in February, and they've done a good job. I wish there had been a bit more of it. They put a bit more mystery and intertwined it a bit more into the storylines. Maybe they have and we haven't realised it. Maybe there have been Easter eggs all along and we haven't actually realised it. But let's see. I'm really excited to see what happens Christmas Day. I'm thinking of doing a live stream because I'm really sad. If it is Keanu, one good thing is it will finally put an end to this horrible chapter of Sheanu. Please like, subscribe, comment, and comment below what you'd like me to do a video on next. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.